Okay, let's talk about the Dodge Challenger Hellcat. I mean, this is an absolute legend, one of the most important American cars of the last 30 years, for sure. But now that the V8 is gone, and these are all used cars, the real question is, should you actually buy one? Well, let's get into it, because the answer, it comes with a pretty serious catch.
Everything, and I mean everything, started with this number. See, back in 2015, Dodge just dropped a bomb on the entire car world, and that bomb had 707 horsepower. At the time, it was pure insanity for a production car.
And to really put that in perspective for you, the baddest Corvette you could buy, the Z06, made a, quote, mere 650 horsepower. Dodge didn't just pass the king of American performance, they blew right by it and never looked back.
What about the top Mustang, the GT500? That was sitting at 662. Heck, even Ferrari and Lamborghini weren't selling cars with 707 horsepower yet. The Hellcat didn't just win the horsepower war, it basically just ended it. Game over.
But this is the part that really broke everyone's brain. You could walk into a dealership and get this 700-plus horsepower monster for around $60,000. That's the price of a nicely equipped F-150. The value was just unbelievable, and YouTube, well, it pretty much exploded overnight.
And that journey brings us to right now. The legend was born in 2015. Then, in 2023, Dodge gave us the last call for the V8. So now these cars are officially entering collector territory, which creates this huge dilemma for anyone, like you, who might be thinking about buying one.
So after all that, what's the verdict? Is it a buy? Well, it is a hard maybe. And that answer really truly depends on you being able to navigate three specific, and let's call them high-stakes problems that come with owning this incredible beast. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the legend, then get into those three big concerns: the engine, the consumables, and the whole insurance and theft nightmare. After that, we'll tally up the real cost of ownership and finally give you our official verdict. All right, let's jump right into concern number one, the engine. Because when you're looking at a used Hellcat, you're not just looking at one engine. You're really deciding between two completely different power plants, the one that's factory stock and the one that's been tuned. Let's start with the good news, because there is some. The factory 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi is an absolute beast. We're talking forged internals, a bulletproof block. This thing in stock form is built to last. You can easily see 150,000 miles or even more with just basic maintenance. Okay, so if the stock engine is so rock solid, what's the big deal? Where's the danger? Well, the danger is what 707 horsepower does to your brain. It creates this temptation, this desire for even more. And this is the road to ruin right here. Owners flash the computer, they install smaller supercharger pulleys, all to chase 800, 900, sometimes over 1,000 horsepower. But at those power levels, a very specific part, the oil pump drive, it just gives up. It fails. And when it does, it sends metal shavings all through the engine. The result? Total catastrophic engine failure.
And the price tag for that failure? It's absolutely staggering. You are looking at $12,000 to $20,000 for a rebuild or a new engine. So if you buy a used Hellcat without knowing its full modification history, you are rolling some very, very expensive dice.
All right, on to our second major concern, consumables. I like to call this the Hellcat tax. It's all the brutal, unseen costs that come with trying to manage a car that weighs 4,500 pounds and has all that power. And the biggest expense here, by far, is tires. If you drive this car with any kind of enthusiasm, you will shred those massive rear tires in just 8,000 to 12,000 miles. You seriously need to budget upwards of $3,000 a year just for new rubber. Compare that to maybe $800 for a normal car. It's a whole different world. And of course, stopping this 4,500-pound missile isn't cheap either. It's got these huge Brembo brakes, right? Well, a full service, new pads, new rotors, the whole shebang, can easily set you back anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000. These are literally supercar-level running costs. So that brings us to concern number three. And honestly, this might be the biggest deal breaker of them all: insurance and theft. This is the one problem that horsepower and driving skill, they just can't solve. Let's be crystal clear about this. The Hellcat isn't just a car that gets stolen a lot. No, it is actively and professionally targeted by organized car thieves. The theft rate is it's astronomical compared to a normal car, which means you're living with that constant anxiety. And because of that extreme theft risk, you get this. Some insurance companies will flat out refuse to cover a Hellcat. And the ones that do, they can charge anywhere from $400 to $800 a month. That's almost $10,000 a year just to be insured.
Okay, let's put all the pieces together and figure out the real cost of owning one of these things. Fair warning, the final number, it might surprise you.
Let's just run through a sample budget for 1 year. We'll be pretty conservative here. Say $6,000 for insurance, $3,000 for tires, $3,500 for premium fuel, and you'll need it at 13 miles per gallon, then another $1,500 for just basic maintenance. That adds up to a grand total of $14,000 per year. And that's on top of your car payment. So we've seen the good, the bad, and the very, very expensive. Now it's time to make the final call. Is the Dodge Challenger Hellcats a buy or a buy?
Think of this as your own personal decision tree. It is a buy if you can genuinely afford that $14,000 a year running cost, if you can find a bone stock, completely unmodified car, if you have a very secure garage to park it in, and if you get a perfect pre-purchase inspection. But it's a hard buy if you're looking at a tuned or raced car, if the service history looks even a little bit sketchy, or if that insurance payment is just way too much to handle.
Now, I should mention there is another category entirely. The special editions. We're talking the Demon, the Superstock, the last call models like the Jailbreak and the Black Ghost. These are in a totally different class. They're appreciating fast and are true investment-grade cars. But yeah, that's a whole other budget. Which really just leaves us with this final thought. The Hellcat was a once-in-a-generation kind of car, a performance bargain that absolutely defined an era. Now that the big, loud V8s are gone, you have to wonder, will we ever see anything quite like it ever again?